Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's debate. My name is Claire Lee and I am the chairman, and Kyla Barry is the timekeeper. The adjudicators, Barrett, Mrs. Selge, and Mr. Washaw. The topic of this debate is that targeted advertising should be banned. The affirmative team seated to my right is Pembroke School. The negative team seated to my left is Mitcham Girls' School. The speaking time for this debate is 4 minutes, and there will be a double bell at the end of your speaking time. A warning bell will ring once at 3 minutes. A continuous bell will ring 30 seconds after the final bell. Please switch off your mobile phones and other electronic devices. I declare this debate open. I call upon the first affirmative speaker, Sharika Ahad.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that targeted advertising should be banned. We define the topic as: targeted advertising is defined as a marketing strategy where companies use detailed personal data, such as browsing history, social media activity, and demographic information to create and deliver advertisements specifically tailored to individual users. In the context of this debate, the term ban means to officially prohibit and eliminate the practice of targeted advertising. This involves enforcing regulations or laws that prevent companies from collecting and using personal data for the purpose of personalized marketing. The goal of such a ban would be to protect individual privacy and reduce the potential for data misuse and manipulation in the advertising industry. We, the affirmative team, believe that this statement is undoubtedly true. Today, as first speaker, I will be speaking to you about unbalanced information and on how targeted advertising reduces content diversity. Our second speaker, Stella, will be presenting to you on how targeted advertising is an invasion of privacy and about the ethical concerns. Our third speaker, Ning, will rebut and sum up our team case. On to my first point about unbalanced information. Targeted advertising often limits consumers' exposure to a narrow range of products and services, restricting their ability to explore alternatives that might better suit their needs. By tailoring ads to specific demographics or past behaviors, consumers are overwhelmingly shown products that align with their existing interests, which can stifle their discovery of new or diverse options. Research conducted by the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, or accc.gov.au, highlights how algorithm-driven advertising on platforms like Google and Facebook can reinforce existing preferences and reduce the chance of encountering new products. Additionally, a study from the University of Sydney found that targeted ads limit market discovery by showing users a limited selection of options, potentially hindering their ability to find products that might better meet their needs. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation, ABC, also reports that this selective exposure not only reduces consumer choice, but can also harm market competition by favoring established products over innovative alternatives. Thus, while targeting advertising may enhance relevance, it simultaneously narrows consumer options that impacts market diversity. On to my second point about how targeted advertising reduces content diversity. Targeted advertising algorithms significantly restrict content diversity for Australian consumers by consistently promoting content that aligns with their past interactions and preferences. Research from the Australian Communication and Media Authority, ACMA, indicates that these algorithms filter content to reinforce users' existing beliefs, limiting exposure to a broader range of viewpoints. The conversation points out that this filtering creates echo chambers and intensifies polarization by showing users content that matches with their existing biases, substantially limits the variety of content and products available to Australian consumers, affecting their perspectives and market choices. Additionally, as Shoshana Zuboff, a professor known for her research effects of surveillance capitalism and the ways in which tech companies commodify personal data, discusses in The Age of Surveillance Capitalism, this engagement-driven model not only reduces the diversity of content by promoting what aligns with users' past behaviors, but also fosters a homogenized information environment. Zuboff emphasizes that these algorithms prioritize profit and user engagement over the quality and variety of content, further limiting the perspectives and market choices available to Australian consumers. In conclusion, targeted advertising drawbacks underscore a strong case for its ban. It limits exposure to diverse products and viewpoints, potentially harming both market competition and informed decision-making. Therefore, banning targeted advertising could foster a more varied and competitive marketplace while broadening consumer perspectives. Thank you.
call upon the first negative speaker, Monica Cullen.
Good evening, Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that targeted advertising should be banned. We, the negative team, agree with the affirmative team's given definition, but targeted advertising does not always require data. We, the negative team, firmly believe that this statement is undoubtedly false. Tonight, as first negative speaker, I will be discussing two critical points relative to consumer benefits of targeted advertising. Our second speaker will be discussing the vast industrial benefits of targeted advertising, and our third speaker will rebut and summarize why targeted advertising should not be banned. Before I proceed with my arguments, I will rebut the points of the first affirmative speaker. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that targeted advertising limits content diversity. However, this is wrong. Harvard has reported that consumers can limit how many targeted ads they receive. They could choose that one to two ads they see are personalized. My first point is about relevance, a strong reason, proving that targeted advertising cannot be banned. It's no secret that targeted advertising provides relevant content to consumers based on different aspects, including age, hobbies, and browsing history. According to an article published late 2023 by Statista, a global data and business intelligence platform, this is an immensely efficient marketing strategy preferred by many Australians. The article reveals that 81% of consumers find targeted ads helpful due to their personalized relevance and have a more positive attitude towards companies that use targeted advertising. Therefore, targeted ads are preferred by consumers and are extremely important in maintaining relevance. A survey conducted by the Pew Research Center in 2023 shows that 66% of online users of all ages say that they prefer interest-related ads, including age-specific content. Now, imagine a 9-year-old stumbling across a Tinder ad. Would you really want a child to be subjected to ads promoting dating platforms? This is a very likely possibility if targeted ads were to be prohibited. So the question is, should we really be banning targeted ads when they provide parents with the ability to restrict what advertising the child is exposed to? My second point explores the concept of consumer consent and awareness of targeted advertising. According to the Oxford Dictionary, consent means permission for something to happen. Studies from Deloitte, a multinational professional services network, show that 62% of respondents said that they're comfortable with getting personalized ads and with the use of their data. Moreover, in 2021, research in Epsilon, an independent research and financial analysis bureau, shows that 80% of consumers willingly share data for targeted ads, while 90% of consumers find targeted ads to be very engaging. These statistics show that numerous users are aware of and consent to the use of their data for targeted advertising. So, why should we ban targeted advertising when so many people are aware of how their data is used to generate targeted advertising online and are comfortable with it? So, in conclusion, Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, should we really be focusing on banning targeted advertising, given that banning can be likened to a form of censorship? No. Instead, we should compromise and work to improve transparency while maintaining a positive user experience. A balanced approach that fosters collaboration will create a digital environment that prioritizes user choice and supports economic growth. Targeted advertising cannot be banned. Thank you.
I call upon the second affirmative speaker, Stella Yang.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that targeted advertising should be banned. We as the affirmative team strongly believe that this statement is undoubtedly true. The first negative speaker has stated that targeted advertising allows users to see ads that are more relevant to their needs. However, as proven by our first speaker, targeted ads can actually limit users' exposure to new perspectives and ideas when only shown familiar content. The Guardian highlights that targeted ads can trap users in filter bubbles, narrowing their exposure to diverse options and ideas. Constantly tailored content can also create the impression that unseen algorithms control every aspect of online experiences, reducing users' autonomy and choice. The first negative speaker also argued that targeted advertising can be ethically managed. But Statista states that 79% of websites using tracking cookies gather extensive personal information such as your history and location without consent. Although some sites offer features like cookie management and private browsing, the Norwegian Consumer Council found that these features don't stop tracking methods. How can we trust that our data is handled ethically if even the most common privacy features fail to protect us? Our first speaker spoke to you about how targeted advertising provides unbalanced information and reduces content diversity. Tonight, I'll be discussing 2 points. My first point is that targeted advertising is a serious invasion of our privacy. Every click, search, and online interaction is tracked and analysed without clear and informed consent. This takes away our rights to control our own data, leaving us vulnerable to exploitation. Reset Australia, questioning Australians about targeted ads, found that over 75% of them feel intruded and creeped out about the way they are monitored online and often receive targeted ads for random things they found themselves just thinking about. Additionally, several everyday platforms including Google, Facebook, Amazon and TikTok have already faced significant fines of up to $5 billion of issues related to data collection practices for targeted advertisement, including inadequate transparency and improper data collection practices. Surfshark.com also states that personal data collected for targeted ads, including location, age and income, can be bought or hacked into by anyone, who may use it for purposes more devious than personalised ads, such as identity theft or scams. These examples prove that targeted ads not only erode our control over personal data, but also exposes us to significant risks of manipulation. Therefore, banning them is crucial for the protection of our privacy. Now to my second point, that targeted advertising can reach vulnerable or unsuitable audiences. For individuals experiencing trauma or mental health struggles, online searches can lead to ads that act as unwelcome reminders, worsening their emotional distress and perpetuating negative stereotypes. For example, as reported by Vox.com, Lindsay Robertson, after her mother's death, found her online experience overwhelmed with gravestone ads, following her recent searches for headstone prices. This constant reminder reinforced her trauma. Additionally, the Australian Ad Observation noted that there are particular concerns when it comes to gambling, alcohol, and tobacco ads subconsciously targeting children. Children searching for entertainment, including games, is likely to be misclassified by algorithms, leading to exposures to inappropriate content. Therefore, these technologies can inadvertently expose sensitive content to individuals who are not equipped to handle it, further complicating the ethical landscape of targeted advertising. So, in conclusion, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, it has been made abundantly clear that targeted advertising should absolutely be banned, as it is a serious invasion of our privacy and can reach vulnerable or unsuitable audiences. By moving away from targeted advertising, we can foster a more respectful and equitable digital environment that prioritises the safety and well-being of all consumers. Thank you.
I call upon the second negative speaker, Emily Bell.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that targeted advertising should be banned. We, the negative team, undeniably believe that this statement is false. Before I continue, I would like to take the opportunity to rebut the second speaker of the affirmative team, for they have tried to tell you that targeted advertising is an invasion of privacy. However, this point couldn't be further from the truth. Users have the ability to say no. Moreover, there's always numerous alternative platforms that they can use if they disagree with how their data is being used. The second affirmative speaker also mentioned the ethical concerns related to targeted advertising. However, there have been many implications of clear policies and accessible consent mechanisms, allowing consumers to understand how their data gets used for targeted advertising. To add, advances in technology and cybersecurity have made it incredibly hard for scammers to exploit targeted advertising to prevent the risk of frauds and manipulation. To reiterate our first speaker, they spoke about the consumer benefits related to targeted advertising, specifically age-appropriate ads and relevancy. Today, I'll be discussing the industrial benefits of targeted advertising, such as the economic efficiency, the job creation produced by targeted advertising, and finally, business growth which targeted advertising enhances. Now to my first point. Targeted advertising has a positive influence on the economy. According to a report titled The Economic Impact of Targeted Advertising by the Interactive Advertising Bureau dated 2019, targeted advertising increases the revenue for businesses as targeted advertising allows businesses to reach more relevant audiences, leading to increased revenue. By having an increased revenue, businesses are able to invest more in innovation, expand their operations, and create more jobs and contribute to the overall economic growth. To add, if a company is taxed higher, there will be greater tax contributions to the government, which can be used to fund public services and infrastructure projects. Moreover, the eMarketer organisation found that businesses using targeted advertising can see a return on investment 2 to 3 times higher than non-targeted advertising campaigns. This implies that targeted advertising is of higher efficiency and more effective at generating revenue. My second point is that targeted advertising promotes job creation, overall providing people with work. According to LinkedIn's 2022 job trends, roles related to digital marketing and digital marketing analysing were amongst the fastest growing job categories. The Bureau of Labour Statistics estimates that employment related to targeted advertising is projected to grow from 6% from 2021 to 2024, which is faster than the average of all occupations. Therefore, we should not ban targeted advertising as it provides people with work. My third and final point is that targeted advertising allows businesses to grow at a faster rate, while also boosting business performance. A study by HubSpot, a marketing and sales software which allows companies to attract customers through advertising, targeted ads have been estimated to lead to a 25% increase in engagement rates when compared to non-targeted ads. By having a higher engagement rate, ads can likely resonate more with potential customers, meaning that companies can likely see increased revenue, overall boosting business performance. To add, within the first few years of the launch of the Dollar Shave Club, a subscription-based service which is a cost-effective and convenient way for consumers to receive high-quality grooming and razors, experienced exponential growth and reaching over 3 million subscribers by 2016 through targeted advertising. This only proves that targeted advertising is a more accessible and efficient way for businesses to grow when comparing the analytics of a business which chooses not to use targeted advertising, such as JCPenney, which experienced declining sales and market share over several years, for the company decided to avoid targeted advertising and solely base their marketing efforts on a reduced price strategy. After a leadership change and reintegrating traditional marketing methods such as targeted advertising, the company saw an uprise in revenues and sales. This proves that targeted advertising should not be banned, for it can promote business growth and boost business performance. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, targeted advertising should not be banned, for it positively boosts the economy, provides people with work, and promotes business growth. Therefore, banning targeted advertising is not the answer. In the words of Tim Kitchen, advertising is only effective when it's tailored to the needs and interests of the audience. Thank you.
I call upon the third affirmative speaker, Neil Chen.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's topic is that targeted advertising should be banned. We, the negative team, strongly believe this statement to be false. Tonight, as third speaker, I will begin by rebutting some of the negative team's arguments, followed by a summary of our team case. I will now begin my rebuttals. The first speaker has tried to tell you that targeted ads provide relevant content to consumers. However, this statement ignores the significant privacy invasions that are required to achieve this relevance. Targeted advertising relies on the extensive collection of personal data, often without the full informed consent of consumers. This data is then used to create detailed profiles that predict and manipulate consumer behaviour, as our first speaker has already stated. While the ads may appear relevant, they often reinforce existing preferences, limiting consumers' exposure to new and diverse products. The relevance of ads should not come at a cost of privacy or richness of the consumer experience. Banning targeted advertising would push the industry towards more ethical marketing strategies that respect consumer autonomy and encourage a more diverse marketplace. I would also like to clarify that within the first speaker's second point and the second speaker's rebuttal, that they said that consumers have a choice for this. While this is true for some ones, many sites such as Instagram and Facebook, require consumers to say, "I agree" to their tracking and collection of their data in order to use the sites. There are many online podcasts that talk about the downsides of targeted advertising, with strategic advertising management standing out. In it, the author Richard Elliott spoke about the many examples of when it was used as a tool to extract information from individuals to then sell and use against them. Another example given from the podcast, the Digital Marketing Podcast, explained that just last year, the Irish Data Protection Commission implemented a $400 million fine on Meta, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook, for using targeted advertising practices that violated the General Data Protection Regulation. This further proves that many users do not know when they are getting tracked, but instead press accept all. The second negative speaker has also stated that targeted advertising enhances market efficiency but this misses the mark by focusing on corporate profits rather than consumer welfare. While targeted ads may help companies reach specific audiences more effectively, this so-called efficiency comes from exploiting personal data and manipulating consumer behaviours. By using detailed profiles to influence purchasing decisions, targeted advertising distorts the market by steering consumers towards certain products, often at the expense of their true preferences. Additionally, this type of efficiency mostly benefits the large companies that have the resources to collect and analyse the vast amounts of data, further entrenching their dominance and reducing competition. As a result, consumers face fewer choices and higher prices. Banning targeted advertising would lead to a more transparent and fair market where businesses compete based on product quality and customer service rather than their ability to exploit data. While it's also argued that targeted advertising drives innovation and economic growth, the reality is that this form of innovation is narrowly focused on increasing profits through data exploitation rather than fostering genuine progress. True innovation should benefit society as a whole, not just the tech giants that dominate this environment. Targeted advertising also often leads to innovation that prioritizes consumer manipulation over ethical considerations, thereby eroding trust and damaging long-term business relationships. Furthermore, the economic growth associated with targeted advertising is highly concentrated, benefiting a small number of large companies while stifling competition and limiting opportunities for smaller, more ethical companies. By banning targeted advertising, we would encourage companies to pursue innovations that respect consumer privacy and contribute to sustainable economic growth that benefits everyone, not just the largest players. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, our team has clearly demonstrated why targeted advertising should be banned. Our first speaker highlighted how it reduces content diversity, creating echo chambers that limit consumer choice, and about the manipulation of the consumer's behaviour. Our second speaker emphasised the serious invasion of privacy that targeted advertising represents, exploiting personal data without informed consent, and often targeting vulnerable groups with harmful content. We've shown that the supposed benefits of targeted advertising come at too high of a cost. So these are the reasons, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, that targeted advertising should be banned. Thank you.
I call upon the third negative speaker, Zara.
Good evening, Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that targeted advertising should be banned. We, the negative team, firmly believe that this statement is unquestionably false. Before I proceed, I'll offer some rebuttal to the points of the affirmative team. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that targeted advertising limits diversity. However, this is wrong. As Harvard states, consumers can choose how many personalized ads they receive. For example, they could choose if they want 50% personalized ads or more or less. So, Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, how can you say that targeted advertising limits diversity when consumers can choose how much diversity they receive? Furthermore, as our first negative speaker states, it is the consumer's choice, whether they receive targeted advertising. So why do we have the right to take that away from them? Relevancy can be managed, so why must we ban targeted advertising? The second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that there are privacy issues with targeted advertising. However, this point just doesn't make sense. First, let's get this straight. As the first speaker discussed, users must consent to targeted advertising if a company accesses it. And no targeted advertising company is allowed to access data from incognito. Moving on, a Harvard report on business states, over 95% of targeted ads are completely safe. So why should we ban them? Furthermore, the Australian government has clearly stated that a victim of data breaching has the option to file a lawsuit against the advertising company, as data breaching violates laws globally, including the Australian Privacy Act. Once again, another question. If some companies are breaking the law, why should we ban the completely legal companies? That is completely unethical. Finally, as Forbes states, targeted advertising is strictly used for user experience purposes only. Privacy issues is not a concern whatsoever. The third affirmative speaker has tried to tell you once again that targeted advertising lacks security. However, this could not be further from the truth. According to an article released May this year by ClearCode, targeted advertising utilizes homomorphic encryption, which, according to the Roseman Labs, is quantum resistant. But firstly, what even is quantum? Well, quantum computing is one of the strongest hacking tools, which is favored by hackers to hack into data. Moreover, Spiceworks states that homomorphic encryption has no way of getting hacked yet. So, Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, how in the world is this not robust? Targeted advertising uses cryptography that is robust and reliable, and yet somehow the affirmative team claims it is weak. How? Now, before I conclude tonight's debate, I will reiterate our team case. Our first speaker delved into the consumer benefits of targeted advertising, emphasizing how many consumers value these adverts. She also discussed the relevancy and consensual aspects of targeted advertising. Our second speaker strengthened our team case by discussing the vast economic benefits of targeted ads. She discussed the huge importance of targeted ads to small and big businesses alike. She also emphasized the economic and job creational aspects of targeted advertising. So, now, to conclude tonight's debate, Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, is banning targeted advertising really the best course of action? Targeted ads provide significant benefits to both consumers and businesses. Banning them would be downright impractical and unethical. Targeted advertising cannot be banned. Thank you.
Have you got the sheet with everyone's names on it so we can...
Yeah, just grab that, please.
adjudicator, Ms. Silge, to come forward.
So firstly, congratulations on making it to the quarterfinals, both our teams. Because it is a finals, we don't actually give individual feedback, and we also can't show you guys the scores, so I'm very sorry. But I'm going to give a speaker of the night and then award the debate. So tonight's speaker of the night goes to the person that we all felt had the best rebuttal and had really in-depth reasoning and came out with a very strong speech all round. And tonight that was our third first speaker, me. Congratulations. And the winner of the debate was the team that we thought had a bit of a stronger team case and arguments, and tonight that was our negative team. Congratulations.
I call a member of the run-out team to give a vote of thanks.
Thank you so much for everyone who came here to watch our debate, and my own team for helping us with the debates. Congratulations for winning. You were really good, and it was really fun to debate against you. Thank you for our parents for bringing us here, and our coach for supporting us, and the adjudicators.
I call upon a member of the winning team to second that vote of thanks.
I'll just stand here if that's okay. So, first off, I would like to say good job to the affirmative team. You guys put up an excellent team case, which was very hard to rebut. Now, I would also like to thank the chairperson, timekeeper, Kyla, my own team, and our principal, Ms. Heineke, for coming to our debate. I hope you enjoyed your first blue team debate. Thank you to our coaches, Ms. Thomas, Ms. Harvey, hi, and Shreya. I know you would kill me if I didn't say your name. And thank you to the audience and, of course, the adjudicators for spending your time here. And yeah, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attendance. I now declare this debate closed.